What is up, everyone? Yo, can you guys hear me? Yo, can you guys hear me? Let me know, let me know. Sweet, sweet. Yo, I gotta like come up with something cool after that countdown. It's a little anticlimactic, but yeah, hopefully you guys are doing well. Welcome to the live stream, and we're just gonna chill today. I finally got my DSLR set up, which is cool, and so hopefully the video is looking good. And it is currently 11 a.m. Saturday in Korea, Eddie. So I'm gonna be looking off here so I can look at the comments, but I also have it on my iPad. But yeah, what's going on? How's everyone doing? From Ohio, yes, yes, yes. Seizing the day, that is right. Nay, I am doing well. I am a little sleepy though, not gonna lie. I went to bed really late, so. How do you like your new apartment in Seoul? I love it. As you guys can see, it's a whole new apartment. It's a little bit smaller than my Daejeon apartment, but it's definitely very comfy. And I'm gonna show you guys a tour, not so much today, but actually I'm gonna make a video, but I have like the best view in Korea, in my opinion. It's so crazy. So I'm on the 14th floor, and I have a view of the mountains and the city, so it's really nice. But it's really expensive, so. Amy, of course, there's always a candle. You always notice that. Oh, man. Jackie, tell your grandmother I said thank you. So what time is it where you guys are? I know if you're in the east or the east coast, it is what, 9 p.m. Friday. But what time is it where you are? And also let me know where you're from and where you're watching from. Texas. Amy is in Texas. Yo, Rin, what's up, man? I know Rin is in Cali. Let's see. Kim Jin, how can you speak English? Well, I was born in the States, that's why. Can't speak Korean all that well, not yet. South Carolina. Yo, Amy, actually, I lived in South Carolina for, I think, about a year or right under a year. Because my dad was stationed there when I was, I want to say a year to 2 years old. I might have been there 2 years, actually, I don't know. Rachel, you're in Daejeon. Okay, nice. What's up, King? Out there in LA right now, just traveling the world. Michigan, we've got Virginia, we've got A-Town down. It's probably not cool to say anymore. But we've got Atlanta, we've got, of course, Cali, 6 p.m. in Cali, still nice and early. Let's see, let's see. Gyeongguk is in DC. Very cool. Thailand. What's going on, Kayla? What you doing out in Thailand? Alyssa's, let's see, Orlando, right? Yep, Orlando. Of course, Jackie representing NC. Sweet. San Fran. Nay, thank you. My man bun. Yo, my hair is growing so long. Take a look at this. It's crazy. Like, the front part of my hair goes all the way down to my chin. And I think I'm going to cut it soon. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, but now that I'm in Seoul, I feel like I have more options in terms of people that will cut my hair. But like last year, I just cut my hair myself. Well, I barely cut the top. I mean, I would trim it every once in a while, but I like cut my sides by myself. But I think I'm gonna try something new, probably at the turn of the summer. That'd be pretty cool. Hyungkook, what do you think about Korean girls? I like Korean girls. I like all girls. I like all women's. But Korean girls are cool. I feel like, I mean, it's more of a culture thing, right? I think more so than just the ethnicity. I think culturally, like everyone has their own personalities, generally speaking, even though everyone's different. But you know, I think Korean girls are fun. They're funny. Tina, are you in NC as well? Wow, Bolivia. Very cool. Ari, you're in Canada. Very nice. Trinidad and Tobago. Wow, awesome. Athma, hey, hey, hey. How about Korean man as boyfriend? What do you mean by that? Ah, Tina, you're in Virginia. Cool. Yo, I think I am. My voice feels a little weird right now. Like I feel like I sound a little weird, and it might be because of the fine dust issue here. So, um, yeah, we can definitely talk about that. Since I want to talk about my transition here in Seoul now, and you know I've been here a couple of weeks, and we're gonna talk about the good and also the bad. But overall, I'm loving it. It's just there's been a big issue with fine dust here, and I don't know if you guys have heard anything about that. But for those of you guys that are living here in Korea right now, yeah, it's pretty bad. The last week has been crazy. Yeah, that's right. It's no joke. Cinnamon challenge. What's that? Barbados. Some feedback. Okay, so is it the room that's feeding back, or what does it sound like? There's a little delay, but it's not bad. Let me see if I can, because I'm using my external mic here. Let me see if I can maybe turn it down. I apologize. Slight echo. Worst case scenario, I might be able to hook up my other mic to camera, I believe. Not sure. Let's see. Electronic echo. All right, so is it still there? Ah, okay, you know what? I think I know what it is. It might be the hertz that I'm using. Let me see if I can change it. 1 second. It's gone? Is it? How's it sound now? Mic check, 1, 2. I might have to bust a freestyle for you guys too. Yeah? Alright. Sounding better, sounding better. Okay, just let me know. Give me some feedback. If it gets worse, I'll see if I can change the setting. And yeah. Sweet, sweet. Spit them bars. Yo, I used to practice freestyling for a little bit because I used to make beats, and I would just like practice freestyling with my friends. And I got to the point where I could probably get up to like 16 bars. They were not good, but I was able to last a couple of bars. Sedi on the track for show. All right, cool, cool. So let me see if I can start answering some of you guys' questions, and then I'll talk about how Seoul is. So let's see. By the way, if you guys are MK clan, just let me know in the comments. We got some MK clan up in here. And if you don't know who MK is, that's Mike. That's the guy that I had on my channel a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about his foreigner experience in Korea. So I'm hoping that he comes on if he has time this morning. He can come onto the stream. But yeah, a lot of people from the MK clan are in here, so it's really cool. So I love it because like me and Mike, and we have a couple other people in our what we call our crew, and you know we're good friends, but we're also YouTubers, and so we love just sharing our audiences with each other. And I think like all of our content is different, but similar enough to where our audiences can enjoy each other. So I think it's pretty cool. Let's see. Do you have a middle name, or what did your mother call you as a baby? So, I do have a middle name. My middle name is Lamont. So Cedric Lamont Stout is my full name, and my mom, she just called me Cedric. Yeah, she just called me Cedric growing up. She actually, I'll give you guys a little secret. So for those of you guys that don't know, my Korean name is Haneul, which means sky. And my mom gave me that name, but she actually gave me that name way later on in life. And so I never actually had a Korean name growing up. And so she just called me Cedric. And if you couldn't guess, my dad was the one that came up with the name. So so my mom just called me Cedric my whole life. Am I currently working? And how come you're not with EPIK anymore? I'm going to get into that in a few minutes, but I am currently working. I'm just freelancing now, and I'm doing several different things. And I guess the main thing right now, my main source of income at this point is one-on-one English tutoring. So I transitioned to doing one-on-one or small group class English tutoring because there's such a big market for that here. There's such a big demand, and Koreans here learning English is big, whether it's for business or just for conversational, because it just kind of helps most people get an edge up. If you can speak English and Korean here as a Korean native, you can just open up yourself to more opportunities, and also it will help them to go overseas if they ever wanted to go overseas and maybe work or live. So it's a big market here, and I'm trying to capitalize on that. And so I picked up, actually, I've got a few tutoring students, one including a small class for business. And yeah, it's been great. So I think I want to focus on that. And also I am doing some video projects. I don't have too much information on this project that I'm starting very soon. And I don't think I can really give out too much information just yet, but there's another video project for a big company here that I'm going to be involved in, and that was through a connection through the radio station I just started. So so I'm going to be doing that, and then also I've got some exciting stuff with a friend. I guess you call him a friend, an old business partner in New Jersey when I was doing real estate investing. And so I think we're going to try to brainstorm and see how we can, just I guess collaborate and make some money together, even though we're on opposite sides of the world. He's doing really well. He's really dominating the market in northern New Jersey, and I used to work closely with him, and we've done some deals together as well. So so yeah, I was just on the phone with him. We're gonna plan that. So I'm just kind of floating around, and just I have my hands in several different things, but the biggest thing is I'm trying to protect my time, right? So I want to free up as much time. I still want to make money. I still want to work, but I want to free up as much time to grow and focus on a YouTube channel, which is, for me, I look at it as a business, but also it's fun. And so I want to spend more time doing that. But I'll talk about the EPIK thing in just a few minutes. I just want to make sure that there's enough people in here. Wow, it looks like we have 69 people watching. Very cool, very cool. So let's see. Let me fire through some of these questions. I feel like I talk a lot. I get stuck on one question. So let's see. How is your mom? I really enjoyed the video of her seeing Korea after 4 years. My mom's doing well. She's doing really well. She lives in North Carolina with my sister, and she is helping raise my two nephews. Well, I have a nephew and a niece, and so she's busy doing that, but she's doing really well. And I'm hoping that she'll be able to make a trip to Korea later on this year. Again, that's the plan. And actually, before then, I definitely want to make a trip back home, and I want to try to do some more videos with her because it seems like my mom is the most popular person on my channel. So, and rightfully so. But she's funny. She's so good on camera, and she doesn't even realize it. And it was so cool because whenever I would like sit down and ask her questions, she's such a great storyteller, and so it's really easy to actually film with her. So I'm looking forward to hopefully doing some more videos with her. Look at all this MK clan. That's awesome, man. Love it, love it, love it. Hakeem, I'm your clan. Thank you, thank you. I hope you're my clan too. So I think you're talking about me, but what's your plan for this weekend? So, read you. Let's see. Well, today after I live stream, I'm gonna get a workout in real quick, and then I've got to edit some audio for my TBS segment on Monday, and so I got to work on that. That'll probably take, I don't know, a good 2-3 hours, and it's just a sound package that we're gonna use for the show. And then after that, probably take a few hours just to do some work. Whenever I say like I have to do work, it's always like a bunch of random stuff. Like I've got 2 websites that I'm trying to build for myself, one for my tutoring business and the other one for just me as a brand. So just skycedi.com, it's coming, and so I want to build that site, and really that's just gonna be a place where people can find out about me, and also businesses can come, and if they want to work with me directly or brands want to work with me, they can reach me through the website, and also I can have a portfolio of videos and things that I've done on the website. So I'm trying to work on that. So I've got a lot of little stuff that I'm going to be working on. So I'll be doing that probably until, I don't know, late at night. And then I do have plans tonight to actually go out with a good key contact. And so we're just going to have some fun. And yeah. I think tomorrow is probably more of a chill day, but I'm just always working. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you know I'm always at a coffee shop and spending money at a coffee shop. But I love it because it helps me to really focus. I like to work here too, but I feel like being out where there's energy and there's movement helps me to focus more. So that's what I'll be doing this weekend. Toronto in the house. How good is your Korean? I would say intermediate level. Conversationally, I'm okay. Far from native level. A lot of gaps in my Korean because my mom grew up, or I grew up speaking Korean, or listening to my mom speak Korean rather. I didn't speak a lot of Korean. I focused on English more so. But my Korean has gotten better over the last year because I just use it every day and I have to. And I'm actively working to improve it. So I think within the next year or two, I can get up to an upper intermediate level, or maybe even advanced. So, which is another reason why I need to just protect my time as much as possible so I can study Korean. Oh, Sandra, that's a good question. What was your apartment hunting experience like in Seoul? It was actually a lot easier than I had anticipated, and the reason is because a couple of weeks, actually about 2 weeks, 2 weeks before I moved here, what I did was I visited a real estate office, I visited 2, and one came via a recommendation from a friend of mine who is living in this area, and so she gave me the real estate office, and me and Alex Segrist, because he's kind of looking for places too, we visited that real estate office first, and then they took us around to 5 or 6 different places. And actually, the place I'm in now was the first place that they showed us, and so this was the best one out of all the places that we saw. So they took us around. It's very, very much like it was in the States. Like they'll just take you to different places, and yeah. And I ended up settling on this one. So I told them, I think the day after, I confirmed, hey, I want to get this apartment because apartments go really quickly here in Korea, and yeah, so it could have been gone like the next day. So I told them I wanted to go ahead and go with it, and what I had to do was I had to send a portion of my deposit here to just seal the deal and just to say, hey, I'm going to come in and give the rest of my deposit at whatever time. And then, yeah, that was it. I came in, signed the paperwork. I actually, when I did all the paperwork, it was funny because everything was in Korean and they didn't speak English. And that was cool. Like I made it through. It wasn't a big issue. I understood pretty much everything, not necessarily reading the contract, but everything that they were explaining to me. And so signed the dotted line, sent the money, and next thing you know, I'm moving my stuff in. So it was, for me, a very simple process. And what I actually want to do is make a video on that as well, which I am planning. So for me, I think I got kind of lucky because I don't think people necessarily find what they're looking for in the first go-round. But for me, you know, I went to an area where I knew I wanted to live in, and they just happened to have this spot open. So yeah, I got real lucky. But I will make a video on it. I know it's a video that not everyone necessarily would benefit from, but I think a lot of people would. So I will definitely do that. Alyssa, what? Your whole entire name is Black. I know, that's what my dad. It's my dad. My mom did not come up with Cedric Vermont, for sure. So yeah, I used to joke about that too. Kayla, yeah, I'm definitely gonna talk about the fine dust in just a second. Ari, thank you so much. Hakeem, bro, this is the most eloquent live stream I've ever seen. This is pre-edited. Yo, I would be like a what do you call it? Like a psychic if it was pre-edited. No, actually, so my setup is I'm using my DSLR, which is a very, very nice DSLR, and I'm using my nice lens. And so I've got this. I actually, you can't see it, but I have my lighting here. As a matter of fact, I'll turn it off. You'll be able to see a small difference, but let's see. So this is without my light on, and this is my LED, the light that I film with. And in addition, I'm facing the window, so about 5 feet in front of me is the window. The window's pretty good. So right now I have the natural sunlight. And so let me turn the light back on. And this pretty much just lights my face, put some soft light on my face, but that's pretty much my setup. So I actually figured out a way to hook up my DSLR to the computer and use that to stream. Because the last 2 times that I streamed, the first time actually was, I believe it was on initially my phone, and then it was Alex's phone because my phone overheated and I couldn't stream on my phone. And then the last stream that I did was through my MacBook Pro because I was trying to get the DSLR set up and I couldn't figure it out in time. So yeah, I got everything set up and very excited to use this as my stream. So I'm extra. I just want my picture quality to be the best. So, but yeah, thank you, Hakeem. Callie, I definitely will do a video showing the apartment for sure. I think either next week or the week after, I'll actually film the apartment tour. The only thing is, I want to do it in a creative way because it's a very small apartment. So it's probably going to be a short video, but I want to figure out how I want to present the new apartment to you guys. How difficult is it to get or find a job in Korea and live in Korea? This answer is going to be different for everyone as far as like the difficulty of living in Korea and also getting a job. It really depends on your skill sets, and I'm assuming as a foreigner, that's what you're talking about. But difficulty getting a job, it's definitely not easy getting a job unless you want to come through the English teaching route. So that is the route that most foreigners come to Korea through, is getting the English teaching job either through EPIK or through the private sector, through the hagwons or the private schools. And there are also university jobs, and there are other types of English teaching jobs. If you search hard enough, you can find. And so those are, I would say, the majority of jobs that foreigners can get. Not necessarily difficult. It really depends on your situation. It's a lot easier. As a matter of fact, most of those jobs are only open to those that are natives of English-speaking countries, or at least citizens. You don't necessarily have to be born there, but Those are the main jobs for foreigners. There are other specialized jobs or other jobs in different industries that are available to foreigners. Some companies might want 1 or 2 foreigners in a certain department for certain reasons, but from what I hear, those positions are pretty competitive, and you have to be able to beat out the native Korean that's applying for the same position if they're, if it's open to the native Korean as well. So so those jobs are a little bit harder to come by. So it really depends on your skill set, your education, also your experience, and what field you're in. There's different routes, and there's entertainment routes as well. A lot of people come here and they have dreams and aspirations of getting into Korean entertainment. And a lot of that is networking, it's luck, and also your skill set and your talent. What else? And of course, you can actually come here and you can start a business. But to start a business here without a visa, say like the visa that I have, which is an F4 visa, which I can start businesses here easy with my visa because I am half Korean, or because my mom is Korean, I was able to get this visa. So I have a lot of the same privileges as a native Korean. But if you don't have that visa, 2 things. You can actually either, to start a business, you can obtain that visa, but it takes time, and you can get an F2 visa as a foreigner, like my buddy Alex. He got that a couple of years ago, and that gives him almost the same privileges as the native Koreans. Or you can actually have money to invest. You need to have at least 100K US dollars to invest here to start a business. And there are different routes that you can take with that, but you got to have money. So different routes in terms of coming here to work. If you want to start your own business or work for a company, it's not that easy though. Korea doesn't make it easy unless you want to be an English teacher. So as far as living here, it really depends on your personality. It depends on a lot of factors. Some people, it's funny because I come here, I guess I have an advantage because I'm very familiar with Korean culture, and I'm very familiar with all the bad that comes with Korea. For the most part, I'm pretty familiar, and I knew that coming in. But I think a lot of people, they don't really know a lot of that coming in, and so they tend to have a little bit of a harder time adjusting. And also, my personality is I like to go with the flow. I don't like to complain. I don't like to focus on negative stuff. You guys know that. And so that helps me to have a much easier time. So if a ajima pushes me in the subway to get on the train, I'm not going to get mad about it. I'm just not, right? I'm not going to waste my energy getting mad about it. But some people are not like that, and that's okay because everyone has their own personality. So for me, I find it a lot easier. I enjoy the food here. I enjoy the fast-paced lifestyle, especially in Seoul, and even in Daejeon. It was still a big city, so I enjoy that. So there's so many different factors, but it really depends on your personality, I think. All these questions. See, I told you, I talk too much. All right, let's see. Alex, what is up? Oh, snap. Ren, is that what Mike said? He's in the meeting? Dang. Hakeem, you're studying to become a web developer. Maybe you can build for, let's talk, man. Let's talk. Right now, I'm actually going through, what do you call it? Oh my gosh, what do you call that website? It's not Wix. It's not Squarespace. It's the biggest one. I'm drawing a blank, but yeah, so I'm building my websites through that. What is your favorite food to cook for yourself? I haven't cooked this year outside of literally just ramen in my apartment. But when I was in New Jersey, I would cook like certain easy Korean dishes because I lived in K-Town, and the Korean markets were near me. So I would just get marinated like bulgogi or some sort of meat. And I also had a rice pot, so I always had rice cooked, and then I just ate some side dishes like kimchi and stuff like that. So that was easy for me to cook. What else did I cook? I would do like gourmet sausages or gourmet hot dogs. So I would just cut up like hot dogs, and then I would cut up peppers and onions, and then saute it in a pan and put some like chili sauce or something, and then just like cook it like that. Eat it with rice. I'm telling you, it's so good. Yeah, I'm glad you guys are enjoying the crispiness of the stream. Have I considered a career in the Korean movie or show industry? Wow, thank you. Yeah, I have, and that's one thing that I'm open to. I mean, more so on Korean TV, I think. But yeah, I'm open to trying to get into some movies. I'm not an actor right now, so if you guys saw Mike's video with me, Alex, and Gina Kim, you could probably tell that I'm not much of an actor. But there's always room to grow. Do you know the character Ellucian from League of Legends? He's blasian. Oh, really? No, I don't know the character. I don't play those games, but wow, that's cool. Let's see. Yo, Ren, I did not eat yet, man. No, I just have my coffee. I drink so much coffee. Did not eat yet, though. Let's see, Brittany asks, let's see how far behind I am. Okay, not too bad. All right, let me try to get through these questions quicker. What company did you use to get your TEFL or TESOL certification? Is in-class really the favorite option? Is a 120-hour online certificate credible to EPIK? Thank you. Yeah, so I went through a company called Global English, which is UK-based, and it was all online. As a matter of fact, it was a 140-hour course. 20 of those hours were supposed to be in class. And then what I realized was, honestly, EPIK doesn't really care if you have in-class experience or not. If you do have in-class experience, let me take that back. If you do have in-class experience, it's only going to help you. But if you don't have it, it's not going to hurt you. The only way that I can see it hurting you is if you have a big influx of like teachers applying that all have this in-class experience and you're up against them, but there's going to be a lot of people that don't have any of that. So I would say, at least when I applied, it was a 100-hour class minimum. And so if it's still 100 hours, and 100 hours is all you need. But I ended up dropping the 20-hour portion, and I just got my certificate in the 120 hours online portion. And that was it. And so, yeah, you don't have to actually go in class unless that's something you want to do, you want to better yourself, or you just want to give yourself the edge when you're applying, then yeah, by all means you could do it, but I wouldn't necessarily stress too much about it. I think applying early enough and in time is the most important part. Let's see, Anthony Martinez, how did you network with so many YouTubers early on and also get on Arirang Radio? So that's a very good question. I started this YouTube channel in 2017 in July. And for those of you guys that were there during the early stages, my first few videos were mostly just on the EPIK teaching process and me going through the process of applying. And the reason why I started this channel was to show people the process from the very beginning. As a matter of fact, my first video, which is still on my channel, which is a little embarrassing, you guys can go back and watch it, but that was just me talking about, hey, I made a decision to move to Korea, and I didn't even know if I was going to go through EPIK, or I didn't even know what EPIK was. I thought EPIK was just, I don't know. I didn't know what I thought EPIK was, but I remember I threw out the word EPIK in that video, but I did not know that it was like the main, I guess, middleman to recruit teachers into the public schools. I just thought it was just like another recruiter. Like I went through Korean Horizons, so I thought EPIK was just like another big recruiter, like Corvia, things like that. But anyways, after a few months, I got serious about my channel, and I realized, you know what, I want to make this more than just an EPIK teacher channel. I want it to be about I guess, my experience as a Black and Korean, and also I want to show my experiences once I get to Korea. And then so at that point, I started like really diving into different YouTubers that are in Korea, different foreigners in Korea that are YouTubing, and yeah, I just got inspired, and I saw the possibility of what I could do with my channel, and so that gave me a lot of ideas. And actually, and I credit Mike for this a lot, but he did a video with a girl named Tanya who was Black and Korean, and just he interviewed her and just asked her a couple of questions about her experience as a Black and Korean, and that inspired me because I was like, you know what, maybe I should tell my story as well. And so if it wasn't for that video, I don't know where my channel would be. But I did that video, and then after I did that video, I realized I really wanted to just get into this Korean culture space here once I moved to Korea. And so me being the networker that I am, because I'm so used to networking and connecting with people, I just started like searching online, and I started reaching out to some of these YouTubers, and I don't know, I kind of did it naively in many ways, because I would DM certain YouTubers and I would say, hey, I'm a new YouTuber, would love to, I'm a fan of your channel, I would love to collab one day. And I'm like a guy who has like 200 subscribers, right? They don't know me. And so I would do that. But then one girl was like, yo, join this Facebook group, because there are some YouTubers in there and then you can connect that way. So I joined that group. I met people like Alex. I met good friends like Mika and also Mike. And from there, I just started to just connect with people that they were connecting with even before I moved to Korea. So that's how I started getting connected. And then by the time I came to Korea, a lot of people already knew me. They were expecting me to come, which was really cool. And then I just started going to these networking events that a lot of the YouTubers were going to, and I just connected. And I just saw who I vibed with, right? My thing is, you can't vibe with everyone, and everyone can't be like your close connection. So me realizing that, I just kind of like always had my eyes open and figured out who I needed to connect with and who like I vibed really well with. So that's pretty much what happened. And then, people know people here. So it's a pretty small world. And also people started seeing my videos as well, other YouTubers that I would have never expected them to have come across my video. And so we'll connect that way. And I don't know, it just kind of happened organically, and it happened pretty quickly. But a lot of that was just me going out there, putting myself out there, and going to as many events as possible. So it's really fun. As far as the Arirang radio, I got that gig because Xander from We Fancy, he had a guest spot last season on there where he would come every week. And there was one day where he couldn't come, and so he asked me to fill in for his spot for that particular day. So I filled in, and I actually did that radio show. I think, Amy, you were watching that. It was with Korean Unni, with Sohyun. And so we did that show together, and Xander, he decided to leave that position. And so they had an open spot for the new season, and the host of the segment I'm doing, he reached out to me and he said, hey, the writers and producers remember you from when you came at one time and they really liked you. Would you be open to doing this new season? So that's how the Arirang came about. So really cool. Just came through connections and just, being at the right place at the right time. So, all right, let's see. I'm trying my best to get through these questions. Let's see, can older people do English teacher thing, or do you have to be young? No, yeah, you can be older. I've seen people in their 40s and lower 50s, I think, through the EPIK program. They're at orientation, and so it's definitely possible. And I'm actually, I don't know what older is in your mind, what age you have, but me, I came in when I was 30. Actually, I turned 33 during orientation, so yeah. Food vlogs, 808, yeah, you know what? I haven't been doing many vlogs, and there's a lot of reasons for that, but I'm definitely I'm definitely gonna get back on it. Definitely gonna get back on it, especially now that I'm in Seoul. I'm waiting for the weather to get a little bit better, and I'm just waiting for my schedule to get 100% set. It's not 100% set yet, but it's getting there. So I'm definitely going to do some more food vlogs. Let's see. Ren, I appreciate it. I'm going to eat well for sure, man. I appreciate you, as always. How do you edit your videos? I use Final Cut Pro to edit my videos. Maze Lee is in the house. Wow, what is going on? Thank you so much for dropping in. Guys, if you don't know Maze Lee, they're actually one of my biggest YouTube inspirations. And so it's a wonderful family. It's Joe and Alina. And Joe is a Korean American and Alina is African American. And they have the most beautiful family. And their family is still growing. So Alina is expecting. So it's really cool. So check out their channel. They have the cutest kids, man. And so I really love what they're doing. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. I love that you guys are in here. So let's see. The goats of YouTube, Rin, I appreciate it. Lex Segrist. Brittany, no problem. Yeah, don't stress about it too much. Yes, I am in my 30s. Actually, Korean age, I'm 35. But I'm actually 34. Born in 1985. So hopefully I can just look the same for the rest of my life. Speaking of rest of my life, will you stay in Korea for the rest of your life? I'm not sure what the rest of my life will hold, honestly, but as I see it right now, I think Korea is going to be my home base. I don't see myself necessarily going back to the States. If I do, it's going to be on my own terms. That means I have money set and I can just come and go as I please. But once I start like having a family and kids, I got to figure out where I want to raise them. And so Korea might be the place, but we'll see. But I do plan on staying here for the long term and making Korea my home base. But I don't necessarily want to be tied down. But yeah, more so than anything, I think Korea will probably be in the long-term plans for me. So thinking over 40 and a little over 50, thinking of a big life change. Yeah, you can definitely give it a shot. Give it a shot as long as your qualifications are there. And depending on your experience, like if you wanted to come as an English teacher, if you have like university experience, or if you have like a master's degree in education, then you could probably even get into the university systems. I mean, they're a little bit more competitive, but university positions are usually a lot better, and the pay is really good, and you get a lot more vacation time. All right, so let's see. Peaceful person, I'm going to answer your question. What is the one thing you like most about Seoul? And then I'm going to talk about the bad air quality because it's been horrible lately. But let's see. The one thing that I like most about Seoul, there are a lot of things that I like, and I can't really tell you the best thing, but one of the top things would be the energy here. For me, I like being around a lot of people. I like the energy and the drive, and there is, to me, I just sense like this. Just kind of this urgency to just make stuff happen. And so, like for example, when I was in North Carolina, and this is no slam in North Carolina, this is just my personality. When I was in North Carolina, I felt like I was getting lazy, and I felt like I didn't have as much urgency to really go out and to do things and make things happen. Because like in North Carolina, for the most part, things are really chill. Things are just very go with the flow, and every day is kind of the same. And that's cool. But for me, I wanted to just do different things with my life. I wanted to be a lot more entrepreneurial. So I feel like Seoul gives me that push, because I'm also very internally competitive. And I'm mostly competitive with myself though, because I don't necessarily care to compare myself with other people. I compare in a sense of to see how I measure up, right? Like, but I don't care to like say, oh, I'm better than them. Like I could care less, right? We all have different stories and different avenues and different routes to take. But for me, I'm very competitive, and so like being here just gives me that drive, because I see people doing things and making moves, and it's like, you know what, that just reminds me, I need to do that. I need to make sure I'm studying. I need to make sure that I'm always trying to push the envelope. When it comes to YouTube, I need to make sure that my content is getting better and better, and I'm constantly offering value for you guys. So that's what I love about Seoul, among millions of other things. So let's talk about the fine dust issue. So the last 2 weeks, actually, this has been the worst string of fine dust, I think, in the history of Korea, if I'm not mistaken. In other words, there was like 6 days in a row of extremely high levels of fine dust in this air pollution. And there's a lot of debate around it, which we won't get into. Korea's blaming a lot of that on China, and just, a lot of the industry that's going on there, blowing the dust here. But there's also, Korea has to take responsibility as well in terms of like, the air pollution that is caused here in the country. But it's been really bad. It's been so bad to where like I said, I have a really wonderful view. And I'm able to see, like right now, I can see a bunch of buildings. I can see a big part of Seoul, and then I can see mountains in the background. A couple of days ago, I couldn't even see the mountains at all because of the dust. It just looks like a horribly brown, cloudy day, and you see just you see the air pollution physically, like a thick cloud. And this is stuff that we're breathing in. So it's been really bad to where, like, I have a mask that I wear, especially on very bad days, right? And there are different types of masks that are better than others at filtering, these very small dust particles. But yeah, I've been wearing that, and I actually have to get a air purifier in the house too, because I just discovered that in many of these places, that fine dust levels are just as bad inside as they are outside. And I'm actually doing a segment on that with TBS on Monday. We're talking about fine dust, and I met up with a science journalist the other day, and we got dust readings outside and indoors, and the dust readings were the same outside and indoors. So it's quite scary, because you think when you're indoors things are better. So it's really bad. I think a lot of people, Korean people here, they're getting angry, especially those with kids, and then also foreigners here, they're getting fed up with just dealing with health issues. Luckily, I've been fine so far. I think my throat is taking a beating a little bit, but other than that, I've been lucky to not face anything like horrible. But yeah, it's been that bad. So it's been an ongoing issue. I think the government, they're trying to do things, but also at the same time, people feel like they're not doing enough. So it's crazy. But the last few days, or the last 2 days, yesterday and today, has been a lot better. Like, I can see the mountain, I can see the buildings, but I can also still see the air pollution. So it's been pretty bad. So I just got to make sure that I'm taking care of myself. So yeah, that's been the deal with the pollution. Yo, real quick with the audio, is the echo back? Let me know. See, Vita, have you gotten a chance to meet fellow YouTuber Megan Bowen? Actually, yes. I met her one time. I met her once. She came by the studio. She actually, if you noticed in our last couple of videos, like, she's been using our studio set. So yeah, I met her one time because we helped set up for her to record. But yeah, it was cool. She was mad cool. She came by with her fiance, and yeah. We set her up, and then she did her thing. So didn't really get a chance to hang out or anything with her, but she's mad cool. Echo is back. Oh man. Let me see if I can fix that. So, have you ever got in touch with Han Hyun-min? No, not yet, but I definitely plan on it. I definitely want to get connected with him, and it would be awesome if I can get him on my channel and tell his story in a certain way. I just, one, got to get connected with him, and two, that's probably something that would happen down the road. But it'd be awesome to connect with him, because he's a Black and Korean with a totally different experience than I have. I grew up in the States as a Black and Korean, whereas he grew up in Korea as a Black and Korean. Doesn't even speak English. So, yeah. All right, is the echo gone now? How long were you teaching for? I just taught for 1 year. I taught for, let's see. All right, so the mic is a little closer. Let me know. But yeah, I taught for just 1 year. I started last February, and man, that's weird that it's gone. All right, cool. But I started in February, and then I was finished last month. So just 1 year here in Korea. Very cool. All right, so I'm going to put the mic back on the table, and let's just see if it's still gone. Because if that's the case, then it's just a distance issue. And I'll bring it closer. Yeah, Fury. I definitely need to get an air purifier. Like I said, I need to figure out which ones are the best for my size apartment, and I think I'm gonna actually do my research and not just pick up anything because I don't think they're all created equal from what I hear. So I'm gonna have to put some money into it. I think what you get into it is what you get out of it. So yeah, I definitely don't want to be breathing this stuff in, especially like when I'm sleeping. It's crazy. Hakeem, have a good night, man. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I do. I do still keep in contact with my friends from EPIK. Yeah, I've got a couple of them. Some of them you saw like in the dance video. Yeah, I've got a couple of friends. I mean, I didn't hang out a lot with EPIK people last year. We do have our crew, like from orientation, and they're really my only EPIK friends. But they're mad cool. So you know, every once in a while we'll stay in touch. They're still hanging out a lot. I don't hang out as much because last year was extremely busy for me. Um, but every once in a while, I try to see them. Cool. So me moving to Seoul um, is awesome because like I live, in my opinion, in one of the best areas of Seoul. I live in Hongdae, and Hongdae is one of the like more popular, I guess, college districts. And there's a lot of like, food. There's a lot of places to eat. Obviously, there's a nightlife here. There's a big nightlife because it's a college area. So there's a lot of energy. There's like tons of clubs. And then I also live near on the opposite side of that, which is a nicer district where they have nicer restaurants, coffee shops. And so I have access to everything. I'm near one of the main subway lines in Seoul. And so it's very convenient. And so I'm very happy with the location. As far as what I'm doing, like I said, I'm freelancing, but I'm still trying to line up my schedule. So like the last few weeks has just been me trying to figure out like how I'm going to tutor, who I'm going to tutor, when I'm going to tutor, as far as my English tutoring, and so I think I'm getting most of that lined up. I'm getting video projects now, so I think I'm almost already at capacity, which is good, which is a great problem to have. So I just want to make sure I manage my time well. So with that said, I'll be able to get back into the swing of doing, I guess, different types of content on this channel because I know lately I've been doing a lot of just talking heads, and I like talking to you guys, and I like bringing videos that add value or videos that you would find interesting. But I also want to go out, I want to vlog again, and I want to show you different parts of Korea, Korean culture. And now that I'm in Seoul, it's going to be easier to do that. I think in Daejeon it was a little bit more difficult for me to do that, not only because of my time, but because Daejeon is much smaller. So now I'm going to be able to show you guys different parts of Seoul, and I'm going to try to like push my creative chops and do it in a way that maybe you guys aren't used to seeing. So I'm going to be doing that. Alex will be a part of that, I think, a lot. Me and Alex will probably go out, show you a little bit about Seoul. I think he's a good person to do that with because he knows Seoul. He's been here for almost 10 years. So I'm going to do that. Also, I plan on starting different series of videos where one series will be where I highlight the stories of different international or interracial couples here in Korea. I have an interest in telling those stories, and so kind of like what I do with my parents, with my mom and dad, like on that level, I want to be able to highlight the stories of other couples here. So I've got a couple of people that I've already asked, and we're just waiting to shoot. So really, they're waiting on me. I also want to do a series on Korean adoptees. So Koreans that were adopted and either grew up in the States or grew up anywhere really. And I've got a couple of people that I'm lining up for that. So I think that'd be really cool. Another series that I want to do is being black in Korea. and just highlighting that experience too, because that's a big thing, and a lot of people are interested in that. A lot of African Americans or Black people in general, not just African Americans, like they're very interested in how the Black experience is in Korea. There's a lot of content on YouTube on that, and again, I want to do it in a different way and highlight it in a different way. But I've got a couple of people that I have in mind for that as well. So those are some of the things that I plan on doing. And again, I just want to highlight stories, and I want to do it in a way that adds value and that you guys find interesting, but also that you guys can learn something. So that's all in the works. So as soon as my schedule is like totally set, then I can like schedule that out and then start pushing that content out. Let's see. So Peaceful Person, yeah, we've, let's see, what is the next project for that you have planned, Alex and the gang? Well, we've got a couple of ideas that we just have to pretty much implement. But I think right now with me transitioning here and just lining up my schedule with other jobs and gigs, and also like the We Fancy Boys, they've got a couple of video projects that they're doing. I think we're just kind of waiting for us to just like settle down and let's just make it happen. So we've already like discussed, we've got ideas on the table. It's just a matter of implementing them. So that's all I'll say. So we've got a couple of cool things in the works, but for right now, we're just kind of waiting for the schedules to kind of align and get settled. So how did you handle the key money? Did you save up? Yeah, I had some money saved up, and I knew that with key money, if you guys don't know what key money is, in real estate here, you have to give a deposit to stay in most apartments. And so, for example, I had to put down a deposit for this apartment. And in the States, how it usually works, in my experience, is you have to give like 1 to 1.5 months worth of rent in deposit. Right? Whereas in Korea, that's not the case. Usually it's a higher number and you just have to be able to fork it out. The bigger your deposit, usually the lower your rent can be. Or you can just get into better places, right? So yeah, I did save up, and so I was able to put money down on this apartment. Cali Love, have a good one, man. Have a good night. Thank you for joining. Yeah, so that's very important. So if you ever plan on staying in Korea and you ever plan on getting an apartment, definitely either have savings already or plan to save here, because to get into a decent place, you'll definitely need, at minimum, I would say you would need at least $5,000 US. So, and that's just like bare minimum, at least in Seoul, to get a decent place. So, see, I think I saw Alex on an episode of Hello Counselor on KBS. Yes, that is true. He was on Hello Counselor. Tiger JK's wife is half black too. Yes. I used to listen to her. I used to listen to Tiger JK back when I was like, man, I think high school. And he's still going. Came out with a new album like the last few months. Megan, yeah, 5K. But if you want a somewhat decent place, 10K will get you that. And if you want to go like a lot better, I think having 15, 20, 30, even 30K, just for like a decent, maybe 1-bedroom apartment, will go a long way here. So it's so different than in the States. All right. See, last week in your video collab with Alex, which snack item did you like? My favorite, Riju, my favorite was actually the banana chips. I really love the banana chips. It wasn't a strong flavor, but it was something that I felt like I could just munch on. Or if I had a sandwich, I would just eat those banana chips. So that was my favorite. And so thank you so much for sending those in to Alex. I should thank Alex for sharing. Let's see. Fury says, don't you get that key money back when you move out though? Yes, technically you do, unless like you trash the apartment or something, but you get it back. And usually it's very immediate as well. So I got my deposit back from my Daejeon apartment. Well, it was supposed to be the last day of my contract, but ended up being 2 days later. But that was because of some other situation. So, and by the way, if you're an EPIK teacher, you don't have to have a deposit. Your apartment is free, as you know, but you don't have to have a deposit. The reason why I had a deposit was because I ended up moving from the original apartment that they placed me in, and so I had to fork out the money myself. So, yeah, so don't worry. So you get the hookup. That's one of the best things about EPIK, for sure. Sweet sensation. Okay, I'm gonna smile. I'm gonna smile. All right, Purple Butterfly, thanks for joining. Banana milk is where it's at. I agree. Changmi, mentioned the yellow dust yet? Actually, yeah, I did. And you can hear it in my throat too. I feel like my voice is a little weird right now. Riju, that's right, that's right. Banana chips, the best. Yeah, so honestly, man, I'm enjoying life. You know, I'm enjoying my new life here. I'm very grateful for the opportunities that have already come my way. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty nervous about my. I mean, I wasn't like super nervous about moving to Seoul, but I was, you know, I had a little bit of nervousness in a sense of it's like, okay, so I'm quitting EPIK, so I'm not gonna have that guarantee of, you know, money, which I'm used to because I lived that way a couple of years in the States, you know, running a couple of businesses, but you know, after a year of working and teaching and just, you know, knowing you're getting that paycheck every month, you kind of get in this comfortable space where, you know what's coming in, you don't have to worry about anything. And so me wanting to get out of that and getting back into the entrepreneurial mindset was, you know, a little nervous, and more so because I'm in a country that I'm still learning how things work. If I was in the States doing it, it'd be, I think, a little bit easier because it's like I know what to do, I know where to go. Obviously, I can speak English. But yeah, I was a little nervous, but I am so happy with how things are turning out and just, again, the opportunities that are coming. And I have to give credit to the people that, you know, have been in my circle and have been helping me because, you know, it's my opinion that you're only as strong as your network, right? So if you got good people around you and, you know, you treat them well, they're going to look out for you. And, you know, your network is going to be their network as well. So, you know, I can't take credit for everything. I'm definitely very appreciative, and I'm super excited because, like, I've only been here a couple of weeks and things are starting to line up, you know, so I can only imagine in the next year or two, you know, some of the things that'll happen. But, you know, don't get me wrong, it's going to be a hustle. It's going to be a lot of hard work, but it's going to be at least work that I want to do. So it's been cool. It's been cool. Let's see. Do you know anything about KBL? KBL. I don't think I do. What is KBL, Frantic? Rin must know. Yo, what is it? Now I'm curious. Is this like some secret club or something? Yo, let me get in. So have you gone out over there yet and socialized with the people in the area there or met new friends? Not really. I mean, I've been socializing with the friends that I already have here. I don't think I've met a couple of new people here, but no, it's just kind of meeting up with some of the same people. So, but that will eventually change. I want to get out there a little bit more. Yo, Frantic, man, let me get in. Oh, Korean Basketball League. Okay, that ain't gonna work. That is not gonna work. Not for me. I used to ball a lot. I used to ball in middle school, a little bit in high school. And I wasn't like good by any means, but I definitely wasn't bad. So I used to ball in the neighborhood, and I just kind of let it go. So. From the Bahamas. What's going on, Colin? Good to see you. It's been a while since I've seen you, I think. Any recommendations on what part of Seoul to stay in? I'll be visiting for 3 months this year. Oh, very nice. All right, so it's like an extended vacation. So why don't you tell me, like, what are some of the things that you want to do before I can give you some recommendations? Now, I don't know every area of Seoul, but I know some of the main areas, and so maybe I can give you some recommendations to look into. But yeah, what do you plan on doing? Do you plan on shopping? Do you plan on going out? Do you plan on doing everything? Do you want access to like all parts of the city? Because all of that's going to play a very big part. Because you definitely want to be in a location where it's easy to travel around. So yeah, what do you plan on doing? Let me know and I'll try to answer that. Frantic. Okay, so you're really trying to get in. I don't know anything about it. I have a friend who's an EPIK teacher who I believe has a friend that plays for the KBL. But yeah, I don't know. Look into that. You know, maybe I can. I don't know if I can help you in any way, but man, that'd be dope. All right. So, did you already mention why you left EPIK and how was your experience? Did you switch schools? And how'd you pick your EPIK preference? Yeah, I did mention. Well, actually, I don't know if I mentioned why I left, but I guess you could pretty much assume. Well, I left EPIK because it wasn't anything to do with EPIK. It wasn't like I got mad or anything like that. We had beef and broke up. It was just more so. Actually, when I first decided to go into EPIK, my mindset was I want to work and teach for as short a time as possible. I want to, in my time that I teach, I want to do the best that I can. But, if I'm able to get out of teaching and get into some other things after 1 year, then I'm going to do it. And so that's basically what happened. I was able to line stuff up and get myself in a position to where I could just do other things and not have to teach. Because the reason why I came here was to many different things. I wanted to grow my brand and the YouTube channel. Also, I wanted to pursue getting into Korean entertainment. And I want to do that for many different reasons, but that's one reason. And also, I wanted to move up to Seoul. So when I picked Daejeon as my preference, the reason why I picked it was because during my intake, there were only 12 open positions for EPIK teachers in Seoul. Versus in Daejeon, there were which is a much smaller city, there were 40 or 50 open positions. And so my recruiter actually said, you could put down Seoul as your placement, but if you don't get picked, then because they might pick someone with a little bit more experience or maybe another EPIK teacher who's reapplying that's in another city because they have the experience. And so he was like, if you don't get it, then they might just put you in any random city. So I decided, you know what, I'd rather have a guarantee that I'm going to be in a certain city that's close enough for me to go to Seoul as much as possible. And so I picked Daejeon because it was only a 1 hour train ride from Seoul. So that was the reason why I picked Daejeon. It was because I wanted to be close to Seoul and I wanted to guarantee a spot in Daejeon because I didn't want to put Seoul, not get in. They put me in I don't know, south of the peninsula somewhere to where I'm 5 hours away from Seoul. So I didn't want to risk that. So that's why I did Daejeon. As far as my experience was overall pretty good. Again, if you guys aren't aware, I was placed at an English camp in Daejeon, and I think there's only 1 or 2 of its kind in the whole country. So this camp is basically it's a year-round camp where we would take kids from Daejeon in different cycles, and they would come and they would stay at our institution for a whole week. They would stay overnight, and it's an all-intensive camp. And so I wasn't placed at a regular school. I was the one teacher that really had a much different situation, different hours, just a different setup. And so, for those of you guys that were there a year ago when I was talking about it, I wasn't super happy about that. I wanted to be in a regular school for a lot of different reasons, but, I made it happen. So I enjoyed my experience doing those camps. It was very fulfilling in many ways, but it's very tough on the schedule, at least for me, because I was still doing YouTube, right? So I was just, all I would do was just work, and edit, and then try to network, go up to Seoul. So, so the experience in and of itself is not that bad, you know. Again, I think I would have rather to have gone to a regular school, but yeah, no, it's cool though. It's cool. I had a decent experience. So yeah, so again, nothing like, no beef with Epic or anything like that. So you met some pretty cool friends last time. Are you going to do an update with Cindy? I'm assuming Cindy Wilson, right? Oh yeah, actually, me and Cindy, we were chatting. I think about a week ago, just on Insta, and yeah, she was like, she's gonna try to make another trip out to Korea. We got to do a part 2. So if she comes out, I'm definitely gonna link up with her, and or even if I go to the States and I'm able to be in her area, I'll definitely link up with her. So be on the lookout as well. She's doing I think she's doing another interview video on the channel that she originally, where I originally discovered her. It's, the channel name is Cbudd, Cbudd, I believe. And so I don't know if I don't know if the video came out, but I think she's coming out again with another interview. But yeah, Cindy is so cool. Cindy is so cool. Is Epic something people do for the long term, or most just return to their home country after their contract finishes up? I think most usually returns to their home country, or they go somewhere else. And then there's a handful that stays with Epic a couple of years. And then there's a handful that move on from Epic into the university. So while they're in Epic, they're in grad school studying to get their master's degree in education. Then that way they'll have the option of teaching at a university. Because again, the university positions, which are not as easy to get, a little bit more competitive, those positions are a lot nicer. The income is pretty good, considering what you have to do, from my understanding, if you're going to teach English. So that's what most people do from my observations. I want to take in as much culture as I can and get some more ideas for my blog. I've studied Korean culture for over 10 years and want to take my Korean knowledge to the next level. Wow, very awesome. Well, you know what you can do, yeah, I am noticing that the screen is blinking. I'm sorry about that. Not sure what that is. Might be a connection. What you could do is, since you're going to be here for 3 months, I would recommend not staying in one area for the 3 months. There are many guest houses and hostels here. If you're okay with staying in a hostel with other people, it's going to be a cheaper option. You can do that, and just kind of every couple of weeks you can migrate to, from one district to another. Like for example, you can stay maybe 1 month in Hongdae area, and you can kind of get the experience of how the college life is and just how the nightlife is. Not necessarily like you would have to go out and go clubbing or anything like that, but you can kind of be there to sense how that atmosphere is, because it's very interesting. It's nothing like it in the States. And then let's see, you can also take some time and stay in maybe like Myeongdong is pretty cool to stay in, because that's more of a shopping district. You're gonna have a lot of shopping and a lot of street food, and that's close enough to City Hall as well. Close enough to, what is it, Namdaemun, Hongdaemun? One of the gates, one of the gate districts. So that'd be cool to probably stay in to check out. So again, the first place, Hongdae area. Another place that you could check out is Myeongdong. Yeah, I don't know if if you feel bougie enough, you can go to Gangnam and stay. But I don't know if Gangnam is. I mean, it's convenient as far as like transportation, but I don't know if there's a good reason for you to stay in that area. But you can, so you can look into that. As far as some of the other areas, I'm not too sure, but definitely check out those areas. And I would recommend, again, look into hostels or Airbnbs and or guest houses. Or you can look into Goshi ones, which I think they're short-term contracts, so you can sign contracts for like 1 month stay. You don't have to give a deposit, and it's just these small rooms with like a bed, and you might have a toilet in your room, you might not. You might have a shared space, so maybe not the best option unless you want to go that route, but definitely a cheap option. Yeah, King. It was. There were a lot of spots that one intake that I came in. A lot of spots. As a matter of fact, I think there were 49 because I was at the training institute. I was like literally the last number. So my training institute was like 49, I think, or 48. So a lot of people. See, being that Korea has such a huge population, is it really hard to get started on a career or to find employment there? There's so much competition over there. I'm assuming you mean from a foreigner standpoint. If you do, then yeah, it's pretty competitive, very competitive. So let's talk about for foreigners, right? We're not talking about teaching English. I think we already kind of covered that, but like, it's very competitive because even for native Koreans, finding good jobs here is very competitive because you have to one up like your competition, and your competition is usually pretty good or pretty qualified on paper at least. And they look at the school that you go to. They look at they look at your experience, and they also look at, unfortunately, they look at how you look as well for the most part. So here in Korea, it's very interesting because with job applications, most of them, if not all of them, you're required to send in your headshot or your picture. And so they want to see how you look. We don't do that in the States. I believe it's illegal. You can't do that. But that's what they do here. So they look at a lot of things. So it's very competitive on many different levels. As far as foreigners, you got to compete with that, right, for certain positions. And you have to be able to prove to the hiring employer that you're a better fit or you're a better value, and then also you know Korean culture, you can speak Korean just as well. So it's pretty competitive in that way. Plus, if you don't have the right visa or they have to sponsor your visa, like the employer's not going to want to do that. They can easily just hire a Korean person that's qualified. So again, you have to have that competitive advantage or edge, right? So that's something that I've noticed. I mean, there are probably like exceptions here and there, but for the most part, it's dog eats dog, man. Megan, good night. Thank you for joining. Yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. I like just sitting and chatting with you guys, and I can't believe that it's already been almost an hour and a half. That's crazy. Colin, one of my favorite vids was the one about Korean cafe culture. I did some research after watching. Very interesting stuff there. I know where my hangouts will be if I'm ever in Korea. That's right. Korean cafe culture is the best here. Not that I really experienced cafe culture in other countries, but man, especially here in this big city, it's so good. I'm noticing my my screen blinking. I'm wondering if it's because of the battery. I don't have a power adapter for my camera yet, so let me see if I can fix this real quick. Give me 1 second. It's not my battery. Yeah, it must be the connection. So I'm not sure if I could fix that now, but I will definitely try to look into that and get to the bottom of it before the next stream. Visit Bell of King, Songdo. It has a weird story behind the making of the bell itself. It's also known as the Emily Bell. I've never even heard of that. Wow, that's pretty cool. Very cool. Yeah, I gotta look into that. Have you learned your way around to other areas as in commuting? Just really some of the main districts that I go to have been, or that I go to are, of course, Hongdae, Sindorim, Gangnam. I haven't, ever since I moved, I haven't been to like Yeongdong or anything like that. I haven't had a reason to. But most of the places that I've gone, or that I need to go to, is off of one subway line. So it's the number 2 line, which is the green line, and it just takes you to just everywhere that you really need to go. But of course, Seoul is so much bigger, and I haven't really learned my way around those areas just yet. But I mean, Seoul is so big, and there's no need to go to every single area. Not for me. So I think I will learn as I go. Tina, are you leaving? Thank you for joining. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. So like I said, as far as the apartment tour, I'll definitely give you guys that apartment tour fairly soon, within the next few weeks. I'm planning either next week or the week after to actually film and record. Actually, I need to get a few more things. Like, as you can see, like right back there, there's nothing there. So I need to figure out what to put there. So if you have any ideas, let me know, because it's just empty space. Maybe I'll get a plant or something. And also, I'm waiting to get a a chest drawer right here, so I can lift this up, because I also still want to film using this as a backdrop as well as an option. But I need to like find a 4-piece drawer that'll go under here. That way I can put the stuff that's in these boxes in the drawer. Or maybe I can actually just get some sort of, I can actually maybe get more bookshelves and place the stuff in there. I don't know. So I still have to set up the apartment. That's why I'm waiting on filming, and that's pretty much it. So my apartment is really basic, very simple, very clean. I like it, but I feel like it needs something else, something more. So I'm waiting on that. Waiting. So. Have you discovered any new natural herbal remedies that your mom may not have told you about, or if she did ever tell you about any? I'm interested in herbals from around the world. My mom does like certain herbal like teas, but your boy doesn't really drink herbal stuff. I should. So I don't know too much about that. But there are plenty of teas and herbal drinks here. So yeah, you will not have a hard time finding those here. Will your sister and her family be able to visit you in the future? I think in the far future, probably. But my sister is so busy with work because she is in her 2nd year of residency, I believe. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think she's finishing up her 2nd year of residency. So she has another 2 years before she actually works. But even once she starts, practicing, she will still be busy. So I don't know if she'll ever be able to really technically find time to, at least in the next few years, to come here and to bring the whole family. That would be really nice. That would be very nice. And for Jonathan and Hannah, my niece and nephew, to be able to see Korea. So I don't know. I mean, it's definitely a lot easier for me to go over there to visit. So when I do, oh man, I gotta get Jonathan and Hannah back on the channel, because they're a handful. A plant? Yes, I need to get a plant, but I don't know where to go, so I need to find that. Yeah, so you guys have any other questions? You got anything you want to talk about? 'Cause I think I talked about Seoul. I talked about my experience. I talked about leaving EPIK. Let's see, what else is there to talk about? I talked about some of the videos that I plan on doing. Yeah, you guys just go ahead and ask me whatever questions you want to ask me. And, if you guys don't have that many more questions, then we can call it pretty soon. What's going on, Shelly? How are you doing? Do you still experience any culture shock? Oh, let me answer that question. Very good question. There is a plant that is supposed to help filter out microdust that they want people to get. Actually, you know what? I just saw an article where there are different types of plants, and I think NASA did some sort of like research on it years ago. So there's apparently like, I guess, qualified research on it, but certain plants that do filter the microdust and actually purifies the air. So I'm gonna look into that. But yeah, that would be a good idea. In addition to getting an air purifier. So do I experience any culture shock still? Again, the way I like to answer that question is like when I first came to Korea, I don't think I experienced major culture shock. I experienced culture shock in a sense of like it wasn't like shocking to me. It was just like, oh, this is new, or oh, this is how things are done. But there wasn't anything that I was like really thrown off, and so nothing really throws me off now. It's just more like just being in a new environment and just learning how things are and just being like kind of like that childlike wonder. Like I'm always like thinking, oh, I wonder why things are done this way, or I wonder how this is done. And then whenever I learn something new, I usually have like a lot of aha moments, like, oh, okay, now that makes sense. So if you consider that culture shock, then yeah, I still experience those moments. But again, I think what really helped me was I consumed a lot of videos right before I moved here on like Korea, how things are, and that really helped me prepare for the good and the bad. So I did learn about a lot of like maybe some of the like more negative aspects of the culture prior to coming here. So I was prepared, you know. So nothing like I'm telling you, like nothing throws me off guard. It threw me off guard when I learned about it prior to coming here, but you know I had time to process through it. So. But I'm still learning all the time, and there's so much for me to learn here because things are so different. And when I say like I grew up in Korean culture, I grew up in my mom's, I guess, idea of Korean culture or her experience of Korean culture when she was here, and the experience that's reinforced with her and her friend group, and you know the church that she goes with or goes to. And so that's the Korean culture that I know. In addition to when I used to watch Korean dramas, or I used to listen to Korean music in the States. That's what I knew of Korean culture. And also I was very familiar with Korean American culture because I hung out with a lot of Korean Americans. And so things are so different here. It's so different. You know, you'll hear Korean Americans who either grew up in the States or they were born in the States. When they come to Korea, many of them will get shocked or experience culture shock because things are so different. And you know, many of them, you know, I know a lot of I experience like a certain, I guess I have a certain experience because I'm Black and Korean with how people treat me and how people view me. But as a Korean American, I think their experiences are usually a little different because they look Korean, right, for the most part, even though a lot of times their fashion's different, the way they do their makeup is a little different, but they look Korean. But once like Korean people here, say, let's just say they like hop in a taxi and they have a conversation with a Korean person or the Korean taxi driver, you know, they'll speak Korean, the Korean American, and the taxi driver might make a comment of, oh, so you're not from here, right? So like they experience it like a certain different type of, I guess, treatment from people. So yeah, it's just totally different here, totally different. Like the Korean culture in the States and the Korean culture here. Or there are a lot of differences, I should say. So yeah, I was wondering if you'd be able to talk about the air quality. I've been wondering how it's been in different areas you live in throughout South Korea. So yeah, I mentioned a lot about the air quality the past few days. So again, like the last 2 days have been okay, like a lot better than the previous week. But it's still pretty bad. Like I'm looking out my window now, I can still see the air pollution in the air, but there's a lot more visibility. But we did go through 6 or 7 days in a row of horribly dangerously like high levels of air pollution and microdust. And so Seoul gets it really bad because of the proximity of the city in terms of where the dust comes from. And then also in Daejeon, it was pretty bad, but not as bad as Seoul at all. And I think in Busan, it's usually a lot better. It's usually the air is a lot cleaner. Because I have friends in Busan and they're like always posting pictures and it's just like beautiful skies. And so I think the further north you are, the worse it is. What is the strangest local fruit you've tried while living in Seoul? Let me see. Did I even eat any? I don't think I ate any fruit since living here, which is not good. No, actually, that's not true. Yesterday, I had like a strawberry tiramisu, which I didn't even know that existed. Like, doesn't that defeat the purpose of what tiramisu is, right? But yeah, I had strawberries yesterday, which was part of a dessert. But yeah, I don't think I tried any crazy fruits. Just had like apples and cream pears, and that's about it. I should do a video where I'm trying like different fruits, right? That'll be interesting. Kind of show you guys. Anthony, for anyone that wants to be a full-time YouTuber in Korea, what advice would you have when starting out? So Anthony, I'm assuming that you're a YouTuber or you're thinking about getting into it, because I remember your question from earlier as well. Man. So let's see. Well, a couple of different things, right? If you want to be a full-time YouTuber in Korea, I'm just going to throw out a couple of different things, right? Number one, I'm not a full-time YouTuber. Like in other words, I don't make enough to sustain like my living as a full-time YouTuber or as a YouTuber yet. I certainly do plan on that being the case, but what has happened for me is YouTube and my channel has opened up tons of doors and has given me the opportunities that I have now. It has allowed me to meet the people that I know. And I think that's just as powerful. You know, it can even be more powerful because you don't know the type of opportunities that you'll come across, right? But some advice that I would give is define what your niche is going to be when it comes to being a YouTuber in Korea, right? Because you have tons of YouTubers now. It's like a popular thing. Like every EPIK teacher starts a YouTube channel and they talk about their EPIK journey, right? And a lot of them do it just for, you know, their friends and family. But a lot of them do it because they want to really grow their channel and they see that other people have done it in the past and they want to be able to do the same thing. My thing is, this is real talk right here, right? And I'm gonna talk as I guess from a business-minded perspective, right? You have to figure out what your niche is gonna be and what the market wants to see, right? So it's a supply and demand thing when it comes to YouTube. Is there a big demand for the type of content that you want to create? And if there is, for example, is there a big demand for people who want to follow YouTubers who talk about EPIK teaching, right? Being an EPIK teacher, there is, right? But then there's also a great big supply of YouTube channels and YouTubers talking about being an EPIK teacher. So you have that dynamic there, right? And for example, if you want to break into that space, you got to think, okay, then how am I going to rise up above the noise and how am I going to stand out? Ways that you can do that is you study how YouTube works, you study how the algorithm works, you watch videos on how to grow your channel because most YouTubers don't, to be honest with you. So you set yourself apart by studying your craft and studying your industry, right? And then you figure out, okay, what are some of the videos that do well and how can I make those type of videos and get those videos seen, right? So you got to start thinking in those lines. You got to start thinking as a business person if you want to go full-time on YouTube. You can't think of it as a hobby. If you want it to be a hobby, then let it be a hobby, right? Then just upload whatever you want and just have fun with it. But if you want to eventually monetize, then you have to think in that way. And so that's how I think all the time. Like I have an idea. I know what works well for my channel. And even now, before I upload a video, like I kind of know, oh, this video is probably not going to do as well as, say, this video. Like when I did the video with my mom, I already knew that was going to do really well. Because number one, it's my mom. And number two, because of, me telling her story or her being culture shocked, So I knew that would do well because I understand how YouTube works. So I think that would be very helpful for you. Another thing is, though this isn't totally necessary, figure out how to have really good quality, get the best quality for your budget at the moment, right? You don't need to have the best cameras. You don't need to have, the lighting system that I have. But if you can put some money into it and invest in your own business or invest in YouTube, then you can certainly kind of make yourself stand out as far as the quality as well. So those are just a couple of tips. Oh man, I can go on and on, but yeah. I think as long as you study the market and study how things are, then you'll definitely be able to rise up above the noise. Just make sure you pick your niche and focus on that niche, right? Not just Korean culture, make it very general, but what's your selling point of your channel? And why should people follow you? Because people, like, you're not, how can I put this? People don't need to follow you. They don't have to follow you. You know, you have to give them a reason to want to follow you or your content. So what kind of value can you add to them? So I think that's very important to think. I'm always thinking along those lines of what kind of value can I add to all you guys that are watching. So hopefully that helps. Do you plan on going through the KIP classes? I do not, actually. I actually plan on going through, say, a Hagwon. There's a Hagwon recommendation that I got from a friend here, and she actually went through it. And she's a foreigner, and she speaks pretty fluent Korean at this point. So I think I'm going to go through that to help me just really increase my Korean language skills. But I gotta pay, and I gotta like schedule that time in, so I gotta figure all that out. So, loving the questions. Let me see if I can like fire through them. Are you curious about any family members that may be there? Have you asked your mom about your family that can still be there? Yeah, well, I already know pretty much. We don't really have any like close family that are still here. All of my mom's family migrated over to the United States in the 80s and the last bit in the 90s. As far as like my mom's extended family, they are here, but my mom doesn't know who they are. She's lost contact with them like over 20 years ago, and she's, you know, it's not a priority for her to reconnect with them. So as of right now, it's not really a priority for me either. Maybe in the future I can like just reach out. That'll be like a little project that I can do, just like a personal project, just like seeing who I can find here and just like, you know, finding out what their story is, but not for the intent of connecting my mom back to them or anything like that. Yeah, I don't know if my mom would even want that. So, but yeah, that's a very good question. I really do wish I did have family here, or family that we knew about, but we don't. King, the taxi driver thinks I'm from China. So no. Right. That's funny. Let's see, what else we got? What food do you miss eating that you can't get in Korea? That's a good question. Because a lot of food I can get in Korea. Like I recently just got my pancake fix after moving here, because I live next or near a very popular like pancake place here. And so I got just a good old pancake, scrambled egg, bacon breakfast. And that's not something that's common in Korea. You can find like brunch spots and brunch places, especially now in Seoul, but man, that was one thing that I missed all last year in Daejeon. So so definitely like breakfast foods I miss a lot. Like I miss, because I grew up in the South, so I grew up on grits. My dad used to cook grits, and then my mom, she actually cooked grits really well too. So the grits, scrambled eggs, bacon, ham, oh my gosh, like buttermilk biscuits, stuff like that I miss. And you can't really find that here. Do you know anyone who have any peers have taught, or have any peers that has taught in rural areas through EPIK? And do you know of their experience? No, I think I have one friend who taught in a pretty rural area, and she didn't like it so much. And so I think for this intake, she actually just moved to Seoul, and she's teaching in Seoul. But I think she was just really lonely. There wasn't like too much around her, so her experience wasn't that great. But I've heard about people who enjoyed living in the rural. Actually, no, I'm thinking of another guy. He taught in rural Korea. I think his first year with EPIK, and I actually taught with him last year in the institute. But I think he enjoyed his experience because he was kind of forced to speak Korean, so his Korean got better because he lived in a rural area. Because rural areas aren't as English friendly as some of the bigger cities. But for me, if I would never want to live in a rural area. I just can't. I just can't. Have you ever heard of a fruit called yuzu? And that's supposedly the best version of a lemon. I have not. No. That would be nice to try. Have you ever had a super expensive... I'm so sorry. I'm looking at the screen. It's like blinking a lot. So hopefully that's not too annoying. Have you ever had any super expensive fruits or meat since you've been in Korea? Well, most of the fruit, at least like some of the fruits that are common in the U.S., or that are imported, I guess. Well, I don't know if they're homegrown. I guess apples can be grown here. I don't know, but all I know is like fruits here are pretty expensive as compared to the States. Like apples, oranges, bananas are pretty expensive compared to the States. Even pears, like Korean pears are very expensive in the States because we have to import them from Korea, but they're even still expensive here. So as far as meats, I did have expensive meat. Me and my mom, when she was here, we went to this place in Myeongdong where we got some really high quality barbecue meat. And I think just for the two of us, we dished out $90 just for like the barbecue and the meats. And it was definitely worth it. Like you could tell the difference in quality. There's also another place, I think they have like Kobe beef that some of my friends, they swear by. And so I want to go there, but you're probably going to like, for two people, you're going to have to dish out about $100, which for me is worth it, I think, every once in a while, right? You could like spoil yourself, but I haven't tried those. I'm doing research and considering where to place my preference for fall 2019. What do you recommend in terms of research experience? Well, I definitely recommend, number one, if you're gonna apply for fall 2019, let's see, is the application or what do you call it? Are you able to apply yet and submit your application? Because like if not, then whenever they open up the application submission, make sure you're like number one, right? If you're gonna like apply yourself, make sure that you apply on the day that it's open. If you're applying through a recruiter, hopefully they'll be the one to apply on day one. And if it's already open, like you got to figure it out real quick because it's first come, first serve usually. Yeah, it depends on what you want. If you want to do a big city, why don't you just drop in the comments like what are you wanting to like get out of like your placement? Do you want to be in a big city? Do you want to be in a smaller city? Do you want to be in the countryside? And then I could probably just give you a couple of different recommendations based on that. Do you want to be in a place with a lot of foreigners? Do you want to be in a place with a lot of locals? All of that really plays a part. Do you want to be close to Seoul? Do you want to be in Seoul? Yeah, I think if you let me know, then I can just kind of give you a couple of things to look into. Where do Koreans usually go to vacation within the country? Good question. I'm not sure. I mean, I think they go to like different, sometimes Busan if they're from up north. Jeju-do or Jeju Island is a good place to vacation. I don't know if a lot of Koreans actually go there. There's Gangnam, which is an area with a nice beach. I think a lot of Koreans go there. Yeah, I don't know if they do a lot of vacationing in the country, to be honest with you. But again, maybe they do. I just don't know. There's a lot of pollution in Korea. Is running outside difficult, or is it culturally frowned upon to exercise outside? Definitely not culturally frowned upon. A lot of people do exercise outside. There are a lot of like random parks around here where there's exercise equipment outside, and so usually a lot of older people, they'll come and they'll exercise outside in these parks, and they're free. And there are a lot of like little rivers and streams throughout the city, and they're like running tracks, and so they actually have tracks where you can run. So it's definitely a good thing to do. With the air pollution, it's not the safest to run outside on certain days, but you can actually download apps where it tells you the dust levels or the micro dust levels, the pollution levels, and you can kind of judge whether a day is pretty good to run outside or not. So yeah, it's not frowned upon. It's people do it all the time. I plan on doing it once the weather gets a little better because I'm tired of running on a treadmill. So do mukbangs. Yes, I will. Let's see. Yes, there is an echo. Again, I don't know what it is. Jay Luck blog. Hi Sky, I love your channel. Have you seen any black peoples there? And is there a lot of American food? In Seoul, there is a lot of American food. And there are a lot of black people here actually in Seoul. In Daejeon, there are black people. I lived in Daejeon for a year last year. There are black people, not as much as in Seoul. But then again, Seoul has a lot of foreigners from everywhere. I know Daegu has a decent sized black population as well, black foreigner population. So yeah, I've seen a lot. Have you been approached to do any modeling work in Korea? I have been approached, more so on social media though. And yeah, actually one or two agencies, which I've vetted out a little bit because I know people that have gone through those agencies, have reached out to me and asked me to send like pictures and stuff of me. That way they can send some potential work, and I just haven't done that. So I need to get on that. Yeah, I have been approached, but that hasn't been a priority of mine, but that is something I want to get into. But I realized recently, actually about a month and a half ago, I realized how difficult it is to model. Like to be, I guess, one of those models where, I don't even know the names of like these type of models, but like where there's a photographer and they just take pictures of you, right? And you're in a studio and you have to like pose and stuff. That was mad difficult because I was like, I don't know what to do. And I'm just so used to just smiling in all my pictures and, you know, just kind of doing this. But like, you have to like constantly like change your position and stuff. And it was just like so difficult for me. So I was very humbled. So, but that's something I'm willing to learn. You know, if it's worth my time or if it opens up more doors of opportunity, then yeah, I'm down to model. But we'll see. I just got to send my pictures into those agencies. So, other than the topic of being mixed, are you going to do a vlog about mixed couples in Korea? 100%. That's in the works. I've got 3 couples already that I have in mind that I've actually already asked if they'd be down to do it, and they are. It's just a matter of me figuring out how I want to do it, because I don't want to just do a video where we sit down, there's just the 3 of us in front of the camera and just me asking the questions. I want to do it in a different way. I want to do it in a way where I'm telling their story, and it's a little bit more emotional, like more of an emotional pull to the stories. But yeah, I do plan on doing that. I'm very excited about that because I want to hear the experiences of other people and I want to show you guys. Are all your close family members moved out of Korea? Yes, they're all in the States. They all moved in 1980s and also in the 90s. Grits are legit. Yes, 100%. Man, I'm so slow with these comments. I'm so sorry. Let's see. How was your Korean language ability while you were growing up? Not that great. My understanding and comprehension was a lot better than my speaking because my mom spoke mostly in Korean to me and my sister in the household. And so I actually was under the impression, I guess, I just thought that my Korean was a lot better than what it was. And then when I moved to New Jersey, I started realizing my Korean is not as good as I thought it was, because I was around way more Korean people outside of just my mom. And but then I still thought it was decent. But then when I moved to Korea, I was like, man, my Korean is like a lot worse than I thought. So yeah, it wasn't all that great growing up looking back, but I was able to speak very basic conversation and understand a lot more. Some people you hang out with disrespect grits. Amy, who is it? Please tell me who it is, because I gotta handle that. Who would disrespect grits? Do you know who mommy's son really is? Yeah, it's he's a rapper, right? He's like some rapper. I saw a video too. I think he was on Show Me the Money, right? Are you into K-pop? Yeah, a little bit. I used to be into K-pop a lot more. I still appreciate K-pop, and I'm more into girl groups, and that's kind of a, I don't know, like it's a, I don't advertise it, but because like it's weird, a 34-year-old man, right, listening to like girl groups. It sounds really weird and creepy, but it's not. I was just always into K-pop ever since high school, and no, actually, I was into K-pop before then. I got into a couple of groups. Actually, my first group I got into, I was in middle school. No, elementary school. I think it was in third or fourth grade. I got into skycedi, which was like, he's credited to being like the founder of modern day K-pop. And yeah, and then in high school I just got into like a bunch of different K-pop groups that were coming up. So I've been a fan, but I'm not like a K-pop fan now or anything like that. I just listen to the music. I don't even know like majority of the artists that are coming out because they come out so quickly. They come and go. All right, so let's see. My name is EPIK. That's cool. So you're working with a recruiter. That's awesome. That's awesome. Smaller city, so I would definitely recommend Daejeon then, because I have experience in that city. It's a smaller city. It has everything there. It's literally in the middle of Korea, so you can get to Seoul in like 1 hour via KTX train. You can get to Busan in an hour and a half, which is the southern part of the peninsula, and you can get to Daegu, which is another big city, within an hour. So it's a really, really nice city. It's a good mix of foreigners. There's a nice foreigner population there. King, if you're still in the chat, King, he's a Daejeon resident. Well, now he's in the States. He's just everywhere. But he was living in Daejeon for a couple of years as well. So I really enjoyed Daejeon as a city, even though for me, and with what I want to do, it's not the right city for where, for what I want to do. But, if you want a smaller city vibe and you want to teach there, good teacher population. I think everyone can like connect really well. So I would definitely recommend that. So yeah. Do you have any tattoos or piercings? I do not. I have no tattoos, and I never got anything pierced, even though I thought about it when I was younger. I don't think I would get my ears pierced because I feel like, well, number one, I don't think I want to get my ears pierced, but if I did, I think I would probably develop, like if you guys don't know, like keloids, right? Like scar tissue. I think my ears wouldn't react well to it. And I think I would develop keloids on my earlobes because I have to deal with the keloid skin issue here and there. And so I'm afraid that like if I got my ears pierced, that would like just develop scar tissue that wouldn't stop growing. But I did think about it in my younger years. Tattoos, I love tattoos. I like it when people have tasteful tattoos or meaningful tattoos. I'm not sold on it for me, right? Because I don't know what I would get. Like it would have to be something that's like something that is true to who I am and something that I feel like would be pretty cool and something that wouldn't look bad or something that I wouldn't regret when I'm like 60. So I haven't thought of that. But I did think of ideas years ago, like I would probably get something to do with my father, or something that would remind me of my father somewhere on me. Or I don't know. But yeah, I'm just not sold on it for me just yet. But I appreciate good tattoos on people for sure. So I don't know if I'll ever get any. Is homelessness prevalent in Korea? I think so, especially in Seoul. There's a lot of homeless people that you'll see in certain parts of the city. It's not like New York City. Like when I was in Manhattan, working in Manhattan for 2 years, you see homeless people spread out kind of throughout the city. But like here, you don't see it as much. I think they're more in certain areas, and they're kind of concentrated. Like around Seoul Station, you see a lot. Um, yeah, but I mean, there's definitely homelessness here, but I don't know. I don't know where they stay. I don't know if there's shelters set up for them. So I don't really know how that is here, but yeah, it is. Am I dating yet? No, I am not. I am not dating yet, but we will see. Vita, you're so welcome. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you for subscribing to the channel. New Jersey girl here. Which part of Jersey? Let me know. I was in Palisades Park, Fort Lee area in Bergen County for 5 years of my life. Alyssa, I don't know who's disrespecting grits, but yeah, it's not cool. You know what? I think on the next stream, what I think I want to do is I kind of want to take requests on like songs that you want to hear, and I might play some songs like on my iPad just to have some background music. That might be pretty cool. Be DJ skycedi. Does Korea have a culture of men wearing makeup? Have you thought of wearing makeup? Korea does have a culture, I guess, of men wearing makeup, but it's probably not as common as you might think or suspect, or like the media would probably lead you to believe. Most men don't wear makeup from what I see, like Korean men. But you will see quite frequently men wearing makeup, whether it's light makeup, maybe it's like some CC cream or BB cream. I don't know the difference between those creams, by the way, but you'll see them wearing like the foundational makeup. And then some of them, you'll see them wearing like legit makeup. They'll have like the rosy cheeks, and they'll have like eyeliner. But it's not like super common. Like K-pop idols for sure. But the average Korean guy does not wear makeup. Have I thought about wearing makeup? Only for the sake of doing certain videos. Not certain videos, but doing videos. I thought about maybe wearing like some sort of foundational cream, but then I was like, nah, it's not worth it. So I think I have decent skin anyway, so, and it would only be for the purpose of like covering up my imperfections or something like that, but whatever. It is what it is. My skin's the way it is. Plus this light really helps. This light softens the skin, so. When you are 60, I hope that regrets are a thing of the past. That's what I'm talking about. Actually, that's a very good point. I hope so too. Hoboken. Oh my gosh, yes. I love Hoboken. It's such a nice area. Mad expensive to live in though. First time I went to Hoboken was in 2012 when I visited. This is before I moved to Jersey. I visited my friend Joe, who's living in Jersey, and I ended up moving in with him when I moved to Jersey. But yeah, we went to Hoboken because that was when Carlos Bakery or Cake Boss was very big on TLC. So I went there for the first time, and I did the touristy thing. I went to Carlos Bakery, so that was cool. But then I went to Hoboken a couple times when I was working in New Jersey, or I'm sorry, I was working in New York City, but I would go for certain networking events. And so Hoboken is such a nice place. Yo, King. Hey, Sadie, I will be back in May to Korea. Do you want any candy not sold in Korea? Man, let's see. What is not sold in Korea? Yo, just bring back whatever you want to bring back, bro. You know what's not in Korea. I'm down for anything. The only thing I don't like is coconut. I can't do coconut stuff, but anything else, man, I'd appreciate it, man. So surprise me. I know last time you got me some stuff, so that was really cool. So I appreciate that. Love the music idea. Skycedi for the win. Yeah. So next stream I'll do it for sure. How often do you plan on doing live streams? So really, I want to get on a maybe every 2 week schedule to do live streams. that was my idea for the new year, and I think I'll get on that. Again, I want to get my schedule set. I want to get my like recording and editing schedule set too, because right now it's not. So I don't have a video for like today. Usually I have a video for Saturday to upload, but hopefully by midweek next week I'll have my next video. But once I get all of that settled, I'm gonna get on a schedule. I want to get on an upload schedule as well, to where maybe I could set 2 days out of the week where I'm guaranteed to upload a video, maybe one in the midweek and one on the weekend, but I'm not ready for that just yet. I can definitely do once a week. But yeah, so live streaming, I do want that to be a part of, I guess, the upload schedule, right? So hopefully every 2 weeks, maybe I could just plan on doing another one in 2 weeks because I'm having so much fun. I've been on here for 2 hours already. That's crazy. Some of you guys are here from the beginning, so I appreciate it. Yeah, I have fun doing this. It's really cool. Johnny, what age groups are you teaching now? I'm actually not, well, as far as tutoring, because I'm not actually teaching, I'm doing one-on-one tutoring, so I'm teaching adults now. So I've got a small group class that I picked up for a company that wants some of their employees to learn their business English and get better at English because they're communicating with other people overseas in English. And so I just started with them last week. So they're all in most of them are in their 30s actually. So just business people that work for companies. Oh man, it looks like it's getting late for everyone in the West. I think it would be cool to do a day in the life video now that you're in Seoul. That would be cool. That would be cool. I'll definitely jot that down as something to do. All right, guys, I'm going to answer a couple more questions, and then I think I'll call it because I know it's getting late for a lot of you guys, and we've been on for 2 hours. I can keep going, honestly. But I got to get the day started as well, and I got to knock out some work. So let's see. How far your Korean went? 안녕하세요. I think you mean how good is my Korean? Or how much did I learn so far? My Korean is getting better because I have to use it every day, and the part I struggle with is speaking it, right? Understanding it is usually pretty easy, and I know how to respond back when people ask me questions, but just like engaging in just a back-to-back conversations, boom, 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 has been a challenge for me. But again, I am getting better because I'm in situations now where, and I never, like, whenever I'm in public, even if it's in a place where I'm pretty sure people can speak English, I make myself speak Korean because it's like I'm in Korea. I'm in their country. I'm going to speak their language. So I just make myself speak Korean. Still waiting on the skycedi Teddy merch. All right, have a great night, Marie. I think that's how you say it. Thank you for joining. You have amazing skin. There is no need for makeup. Thank you, Rosemary. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever go the makeup route unless I'm like doing like actual TV gigs and they do makeup for me. But other than that, I don't think I'll actually wear makeup. Oh, Fury, that's a good question. What's your opinion on Korea's beauty standards? Do the majority of people there feel pressure to meet those standards, or do you ever feel the need to keep up with the current trends? Wow, that's a very good question. Let me see if there's any other quick questions, and then I want to end on that question. Every 2 weeks, Amy, would you? Oh, I guess you would join. You said go ahead. I was gonna say it'd be cool if you could join every 2 weeks. All right, give me a second, guys. I have to change my battery. All right, so sorry about that. Yeah, every 2 weeks would be so cool. Eventually, maybe it'll be like once a week. I could do like maybe an hour stream. I don't know, we'll see, but we'll start with maybe every 2 weeks. and I can just schedule it out. Alyssa, thank you so much for joining. Does your family in the USA watch your lives? Probably not. My mom does. My mom doesn't watch my videos. She doesn't know how to, unless my sister shows her some of my videos. So my sister will show, I guess the videos with my mom in it. My sister has shown my mom because my mom was already in the States. But I don't think my mom watches my videos. And my sister, I don't know if she watches my videos or streams. I doubt it because she's always working. She probably watches some videos. But my brother-in-law, I think, watches all of my videos. He mentioned to me that he watches my videos, so I appreciate that. I don't know if he's on my lives, but let's see. Hello, Anna. Cool. So, Johnny, let me ask you a question, then I'll end on the beauty question, the beauty standards question, because I think that's a good question. Okay, so Johnny says, ever thought of doing a meet and greet type of thing at a cafe, or example, or just talk about whatever? Yeah, I have. I definitely want to do one. I just have to plan it out, and maybe I could have my first one in the summer. I think that'd be cool. Just to meet up with a lot of you guys who are able to, and we could just chill and talk. Like I guess for my meet and greet, like it would just be like, let's get together, let's just hang out, you know, spend a couple of hours just kicking in, just talking, sharing experiences. I can learn from your experiences. I think it'd be really cool. So I will look into doing that. I mean, I've been thinking about that for a while, so it's just a matter of me doing it. And finding the right time, the right venue, and depending on how many people will come, I guess I got to get a feel for how many people could come, and then I could like choose a venue. There's so many awesome venues here that I think we can book. And there's a couple of sick cafes that are very spacious. I went to one last week. It was so beautiful. It was so huge, 2 big rooms, good atmosphere. So like a place like that would be pretty cool. All right, so. Let me just end with this question right here. Again, Fury 514 asks, what's your opinion on Korea's beauty standards? Do the majority of people there feel pressure to meet those standards, or do you ever feel the need to keep up with the current trends? Let me answer the last question first. Do I ever feel the need to keep up with the current trends? Not a big need. So for me, just in general, even when I was in the States, like I always want to keep up with certain trends, but I always want to like stay true to me, right? I have a certain style when it comes to like dress, but I'm always like trying to figure out how can I change my style, you know, how can I change up some of the outfits that I wear, would I look good in this? So I do think about that. When I came to Korea, my biggest concern was just finding clothes that fit me well, because I'm very particular on how clothes fit. I finally found a brand of jeans that I know I could depend on. I'm like Uniqlo all day, so I know my fit for there, and I know the look that I want to go for when it comes to the jeans. As far as like the shirts and sweaters and stuff like that, I feel like I do want to like have a certain look where I am adapting some of the Korean fashions and some of the Korean trends, but at the same time I want to keep it me. I don't feel the same type of pressure, because no matter what I do and no matter where I go, I'm going to be looked at as a foreigner, and I don't think foreigners have that same like pressure, right? Because like I guess it's just okay to be different, because we're foreigners, we're automatically different, and I look different. I don't necessarily look Korean, right? So I don't feel that pressure in that way. I just want to look good, right? I want my clothes to look good. I want my fashion to look good, and so that's the only type of pressure that I feel, right? As far as Korea's beauty standards, man, this is something I want to think about more, because I think this is a very deep-rooted issue, and you can go very deep with this, and it can even be controversial, right? I do think that there are a lot of extreme standards that are very unrealistic when it comes to the ideal, like what Korea preaches in terms of the mainstream as what beauty is, right? The lighter skinned Korean, the small face, you know, beautiful woman that's perfect, or the man that's just nice and slim and he has his hair done and even a little bit of makeup. That's kind of like what we see in the media. That's what we see everywhere. But when you actually come here, you don't really see that. Like most of the average guys, they just look pretty average, right? They don't look like these people, these models that you see on TV. And I suppose it's the same in the States, right? You're only going to see like the best looking people according to society standards. You're going to see that in the media. You're going to see brushed up photos in the media. Here it's pretty similar. I feel like it is more extreme than in the States though. Because in the States right now, we're heading towards like more body positivity type of like philosophy, and whereas here that's not the case. It's just more on physical looks. Of course, if you're not aware, which I think most of you guys are, Korea is very big on plastic surgery. It's I think the biggest, the biggest in plastic surgery in the world as far as the amounts of plastic surgery. People come to Korea to get plastic surgery. And it's very common for people to get procedures, big and small. Let's see. So how do I feel about it? I mean, in a perfect world, I feel like there shouldn't be that pressure of standards, right? People shouldn't judge you based on how you look. When it comes to jobs, they shouldn't judge you on how you look in terms of like to your competition. Like if all things being equal in terms of qualifications and experience, like it's sad that they would choose the prettier one over the non-prettier one based on the picture, right? That should not be the case. So I think that there's a long way to go for Korea to change that, and I don't think it's a healthy thing. I think a lot of girls, what I've noticed, and if there are any teachers that are still watching that have taught elementary and middle school, these girls are already into the whole beauty thing. Even elementary school, they're into like the makeup, and they're constantly looking in the mirror, constantly like checking their face and stuff like that. I don't think it's healthy. I don't think it's practical to always feel this pressure to look a certain way. So it's, yeah, in many ways it's kind of sad, but you know, at the same time, I don't know if the average person really feels that pressure. When I say average person, I mean like the average Korean. Because I do see there are certain beauty standards that I think most Koreans can kind of meet in terms of like makeup and fashion and dress. And I think a lot of Koreans are very, what's the word? United is not the right word, but they all kind of carry, like, they adapt to the same trends and the same styles, generally speaking. Yeah, there are those on the outside of that, but so I think everyone can kind of fit into that mold in terms of native Koreans, but then there are those that are just like super pretty, like super model pretty, super skinny. And I think that's where the pressure comes from, and I think that's where it's a little unhealthy and very unrealistic for everyone. So yeah, I don't really like that. I don't think it's healthy. That's something I want to actually look into, and something that maybe I can do a video on in the future after I do a lot of research. I want to research on plastic surgery. I don't have a super strong opinion on like left or right in terms of plastic surgery is just really bad or plastic surgery is really good. I think it's kind of case by case, and I can kind of see both sides. Here's another aspect to it though. I think Korea does get a lot of flack on being a society that's so superficial and based on looks. But let me give you something to think about, right? So say you were born here in Korea, you're automatically born into a society that from the very beginning, from the onset, you're into this pressure, right? You have this pressure to perform. You have this pressure to do well and to set yourself apart from other people, from like when you're a little baby, basically, right? You learn to walk and you're actually learning how to like speak. You have this pressure to do well in school. You have to study. A lot of people, if they can afford it, they're going to put their kids through hagwons or private institutions, private academies, to where after they go to school, they got to go and do more school, basically. They have to study more. They have to go to these institutions where they have to get tutored. And so they're doing this day and night for many, 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 many years. So they have this pressure. And they begin to realize that in order to like get somewhere in society, in order to have a decent position, they have to outperform people that are next to them. So already they're in a competitive society where it's competitive in education, it's competitive in how they look. I think most people would feel that pressure in terms of, okay, well, I have to be the best in education. I have to also look my best. So it's easy, in my mind, to fall into the temptation of wanting to change your appearance if you feel like you don't meet up to those standards, because that's the best way to compete. So I can see that aspect too. So I don't like judge people. I don't judge Korea as a whole. I don't agree with the industry. I don't agree with the plastic surgery industry pushing this standard or ideal of beauty. But I can kind of see why Koreans would have that pressure to want to change their appearance because they feel like it's not good enough, because there is this standard of beauty that they feel like they don't meet up with, which the standard of beauty in and of itself is not healthy, it's not realistic, I think. So yeah, I see that side of it. I don't know, it's very hard for me to explain, as you can see. But it's something I want to think about a lot more. I don't have a super strong opinion, but I do think in a perfect world, looks doesn't matter. In an ideal world. But we don't live in an ideal world, and unfortunately it does matter. So yeah, I don't know if that made sense to you guys. It's something I want to think about a lot more now. I actually want to research. I want to be educated in my answers for that. But I thought it'd be a good way for me to, or a good question for me to actually end the stream on. So I don't know. Yeah. So I'll just kind of cap it at that, and I'll think about that some more. And it's something that I do think about. I have a friend or two that we talk about this quite often, actually. So yeah. So anyways, there's your answer for that question. Looks like everyone is leaving. They're starting to get off of the chat. So thank you, everybody, for joining. Let's see. Very interesting to hear perspective. Thanks for doing the stream. Thank you guys for just, I don't know, just always supporting and just being here. Oh, it's cool that you guys find that response interesting. Again, I want to develop that response, right? I'm very, what's the word? Like, I want to be cautious with how I answer certain questions, because I want my answers to be educated and well thought out. I don't want to just give up an opinion and regret the opinion without thinking about it. So anyways, yeah. And the next one, I'm gonna be a DJ. So like, come with your song requests, and let's see if I could play some of them in the background while we're talking and chatting. So everyone, again, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys joining, and again, I want to do this more often. So I'll plan on doing the next stream maybe in the next 2 or 3 weeks, depending on the schedule. And let's come and hang out again. And let's just hang out. Let's just chill. 2.5 hours almost. It's crazy. Amy, yes, I'll see you on Wednesday while I'm live on radio. For those of you guys that don't know, I'm doing Arirang Radio. Arirang is it's a radio news company, media company rather, that's based in Korea. It's about Korean culture. The news is about Korea as well, but it's dedicated for the foreigner mostly. So if you guys are interested, I have a segment, Korea time. It starts around 10 a.m. So in the East, it's about 8 p.m. on Tuesday night. So if you're interested in tuning in, definitely tune in. I'll do some stories and stream or Instagram posts about that. That way you can join and have fun with us. So anyways, yeah, Arirang is Ararang. You can download an app. You can go to the YouTube channel and stream live while we're doing the radio. So that'd be really cool. And I think I might even live stream. Like, I know Korean Unleashed, she has done that show live stream. Maybe I can do a live stream as well while I'm doing the segment. So we'll see. But anyways, it's very good to see you guys. I'm gonna sign off now. Everyone in the West, have a wonderful evening, and go into the weekend with a lot of just excitement, hopefully. And I'll see you guys in the next stream. All right. So anyways, thank you for joining, and I'll see you guys soon.